phones him up and tells him it's bare knuckle and it's run by gangsters and all the crowd's going to kick off. So he cancels on us. I said, the Decker's called. I said, fucking tell him to do something, liven him up, tell him to stick the nut in. Kick him, fucking hit him with the elbow, do something to make him come to life. And then I went over to Julius's call and I said, look, unless you liven up, you're not getting paid.
Okay, so who was the last governor then on the last batch? Was it Gary who finished off as the governor?
Yeah, Gary finished off, and then there was a break, and I was gone back in the pros again. I was managing some boys, and then Vicky English phoned me up again. Right, keep dragging me in, Vicky. Keep dragging me back, and then he phoned me up and he said, I ended up getting an office down in Mitcham, and we created a thing called the London Boxing Club. Yeah. And he said, I've got this kid Decker, bare knuckle. Vicky's brilliant at talking. He made it sound so romantic, you know what I mean? I've got this bare knuckle man, this animal everyone knows. Joe, we can make this big fight. And I'm like, I'm not interested, Vic. You know what I mean? And he was saying, Welshfield. I spoke to Welshfield. I mean, no, you spoke to Welshfield. I mean, Welshfield said, I know Welshfield's an animal. I don't mean that, you know, he's an animal. He'll fight anything, he'll bite your bloody nose off if he has to.
Big one, yeah.
For that fucking Northern cunt who's in the fucking crowd, Decker. He'll fucking melt.
Is he out there now?
He's there, bruv. He's there.
And so it was, but Ricky's gone, but Phil won't fight unless you're involved, Joe, because I'm his mate, out of loyalty. So I went, do you want me to make the call? So I went, all right, so I made the call, and then now I'm dragged back in it again. And then, the aggravation we had with that fight, honestly, you wouldn't believe it. The fight was on, the Troxy, then the Troxy, it's bare knuckle, and they said, I won't stage a bare knuckle fight. We've already paid the deposit. I go down and say, it's not bare knuckle. Yeah. And the guy goes, it is bare knuckle. I've seen the poster. I said, no, on the poster it says the bare knuckle champion, Decker Eggy. It's not a bare knuckle fight. There's doctors, there's fucking paramedics, do you know what I mean? I mean, no, we're not having this. I couldn't convince them it weren't bare knuckle, so they wouldn't have it. So we've had murders there, and they were saying, can't find another venue. Then we found another venue, big enough. And then the guy from the Troxy ends up, knows that fellow at the venue, phones him up and tells him it's bare knuckle and it's run by gangsters and all the crowd's going to kick off. So he cancels on us. Right? So now everyone on websites and social media and everything are going like, God, do these fucking promoters know what they're doing? Do you know what I mean? It's getting embarrassing, but it ain't our fault, do you know what I mean, Christian? It ain't our fault. Then we find another one, and then believe it or not, 2 weeks before the show, 10 days before the show, Welshfield was ill, right? And he was ill. Yeah. Talking about whether he's going to make it ill. Do you know what I mean? I won't say what was wrong with him, but he was ill. And so, and his fella, he collapsed in the gym, got ambulance come for him. Yeah. And Brendan's phoned me up, his trainer, he's gone, it ain't good, Joe, it fucking ain't good. And now I'm more worried about Phil rather than the fight, to tell the truth. And I spoke to him, and Ricky's like, what are we going to do, Joe? And they can't cancel the show again, you know what I mean? And then I spoke to Phil, and Phil was like, I might be all right. I mean, Phil, bloody, it's like 10 days, mate. He's still in hospital bed, he ain't going to be let out for another week. This is 2 days off. I said, you can't fight, mate, it's off. So what are we going to do now? So we're sitting there now, 10 days. Now, all the undercard have all sold all their tickets. We paid deposits again on another venue. All the posters are done, everything's done. People have booked hotel rooms, people have booked coaches, some people have booked flights. So now, Phil can't fight. Now, what are we meant to do? Cancel the bloody show again? So I said, we're going to have to bring in an opponent, and hopefully Phil gets better and can fight the winner. Yep. And we couldn't find an opponent. No one wanted to fight, short notice. So I knew Julius Francis was been in a couple of fights. Now, good pro, fought Mike Tyson, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? And so I had a meeting with him in Croydon, me and Teddy Bamber, and I told him, I said, this is what you got to do, this is the script, you know what I mean, got paid a lot of money. And he agreed to fight. And so at least we had a fight. And on the fight night, he turned up on his own, and just went into journeyman mode. And basically just sat back, covered up, let a few shots go now and again, just thought, well, I ain't going to get hit, I'm not going to get in trouble. Decker weren't really a boxer, so he weren't really opening him up, and Decker ain't really got that violent streak in him to give Julius the So the fight was terrible. I think
it's a surprise, isn't it?
well, I think I went over. I think the second round. I said to Decker's corner. I said, fucking tell him to do something, line him up, tell him to stick the nut in, kick him, fucking hit him with the elbow, do something to make him come to life. Yeah. And then I went over to Julius's corner and I said, look, unless you liven up, you're not getting paid. And then also Julius come out for about 4 shots flurries and then went back covering up, and there was a few rounds of that. I went, oh bollocks, and I went to the bar. I knew exactly how the fight's going to end up. You know, it's going to be a points win with Decker. We got slated, but what was we going to do? You know.
It was lose at that point, wasn't it? You've got something on the beat.
And you know, and then I basically I said I've had enough of this. It's fucking you know, it's so much hard work and then get slated and all. And then all of a sudden, you know, and then we done and then that finished. And then Ricky again, you know, pulled us back in, and then we done the Tyrone. We had no Guvnor. Yeah. We had no Guvnor at the time, you know, really. And then, and so we done that prize fight competition. Yeah. Thought like, you know, it was quite a good idea. Therefore, get 8 fighters. Whoever wins, you know what I mean. You know, it will become like the holder of the belt, and then he'll have to defend it. You know, he was going to have to defend it against the winner was going to have to fight Stacey Dunn. It was a good fight, Stacey. And then you know, I went back in the pros again, and then Decker went and fought Tyrone. Someone put the show on. I gave him my blessing.
So with the unlicensing hopefully coming back to fruition in the next few months, maybe in 2021, you've obviously, your book's perfect timing for it. So talk to us a little bit about your new book, Unlicensed.
Well, the book, you know, it's been on in the back of my mind for a number of years now. Yeah. It's a book, you know, it mentions a lot of people in it. There's a lot of people in the book, but the book's about what I went through, going to see Roy and Lenny, going on meetings with my dad, on the meetings and stuff. What I know about what happened in them fights, the Roy and Lenny fights and the fights after that. And then the Caesars days, you know, the Guvnor title, because it was like so many people just cock it up all the time, you know what I mean? You know, just don't get what this Guvnor title is. And so I thought, well, here it is in the book. Right, here it is. You can pick the book up and you can read how it started, where it went, who won the title, how he won the title, and where the title went and where it is now. It's all in black and white. I'm the one, along with Ricky English, who promoted the fucking fights. I matched the fights. I made the fights. So it's not coming like, you know what I mean, like Chinese whispers, like, you know, someone turning man. It's coming from, it was me who made the bloody fights.
Yeah, it's not that side or that side, it's the middle side. So hopefully we're going to get the most truth, more so than any other way, you know?
You know, I was sitting the other day, you know, I was sat there and, you know, someone left a comment on one of the bloody thing, you know, and said something, and I'm still, you know, I'm like, wow. You know, I just don't get it. Some people just don't get what it is. It is complicated, really, because it was never a title. It was actually a thing until we made it a title. But, you know, show me one poster of Roy and Lenny what says fighting for the Guvnor title.
Of course, yeah, no, it was, went without saying, it was like you say, the unofficial Guvnor.
Yeah.
But like I say, there's such demand for it and people love to know about it. And I'd say the Roy and Lenny fights were more famous than any actual British heavyweight title fight. Like, they're more spoken about and known, aren't they? Tell me a British title fight in the licence ranks or heavyweight title fight that was as reputed or as infamous as that. There isn't one, is there? Which is crazy, isn't it?
Or 2 fighters in the British heavyweight fighters who went on to make best-selling books or make a life story of their film. You know,
it's insane, isn't it?
You know, it's crazy. It was it's because they was the baddies.
Yeah, no, which is incredible. Your dad managed to obviously put that together, wasn't it? And what it's turned into today, even after all of them are gone now, aren't they? The 3 of them, your dad and
and Alex
and Alex as well, yeah.
And that, but you know, I think the old man, you know, I don't think he realised what they'd done. You know.
Yeah, at the time it was just trying to earn a pound note, and didn't realise it was going to become so infamous and spoken about how many years later.
You know, with the Donny the Bull fight, there was no plans for Roy to have fights after that.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, they could have sold that place 3 times over.
Yeah.
You know, tickets were actually going, you know, 3 times the cost of the ticket.
Yeah.
And then it just, you know, just built a momentum, and the momentum built, and then all of a sudden, you know, a fella got in the ring, fucking idiot got in the ring, it's a Donny the Bull, and made a challenge before they fought, which, you know, you should get in the ring after the bloody fight, you know what I mean, not before, and they end up slinging him over the rope, you know what I mean, in the old documentary, and they end up picking him up, and Graham and Ronnie and Roy and Donny the Bull picked him up and threw him over the top rope back into the crowd. Awesome, we going, fuck off, you fucking idiot, do you know what I mean, you know. So, you know, and then they built that, and you think of all the people, like, you know, you look at, before then, to put a fight on, a boxing fight, was unheard of. You know, the British Boxing Board of Control, they thought they owned that, it. You know, white collar's bigger than the pros now.
Of course, it's huge now, it's a massive scene, isn't it?
It's absolutely, you know. Alan Lacey's done a great job with a white collar and stuff like that. You know, it started off when you had you know, Wall Street bankers fighting the English city bankers, and look at that fight the other week, KSI against.
It's a bit bigger than any actual fight, official fight.
I think there was 21 million people who watched the fight, and then 25 million people tuned into the replay. I think something like 13 million watched the public bloody the weigh-in.